What is going on, everybody, and welcome back. Once again, my name is Jordan, also known as JMonster, and I want to thank you for joining me for an exciting announcement. Over the last few weeks, the Reforged dev team has been hard at work on a new game mode for the mod. It's something that you probably haven't ever done with Medieval 2 before, and combines the roleplay aspects of scenarios, which I know many of you out there love, with the flexibility and replayability of custom battles. And of course, along with a straightforward set of rules that are easy to implement so that you can do this with your friends and later on with the community at large. As an added bonus, Sin, WK, and myself, as well as the Reforged Discord community, have contributed a number of brand new maps tailored specifically to this new mode, which you'll be able to find in the description of this video. I'd like to extend a heartfelt thank you to Sin, WK, and the rest of the Reforged community for the support on this project. Without them, this would not be as great as it is today. And so with all of that being said, I would like to introduce you all to 3rd Age Reforged Conquest mode. The rules, as I mentioned previously, are refreshingly simple. Each team is given 13,000 to 14,000 per player. Teams consist of up to 3 or 4 players, although I recommend that you play it with 4 because I find that it is the most fun. And each player's army size cannot exceed more than 800 men, which sounds like a crazy restriction, right? There are some units in Reforged that go up to 250 men in a unit. Well, to accommodate this, unit sizes must therefore be set to small. And because of how powerful artillery can be on smaller unit sizes, no artillery is permitted in Conquest mode. If you decide that for whatever reason you want to play with artillery and that's just how you want to play it, know that you are doing so outside the recommendations of the developer, and I can't vouch for it being terribly balanced. And now we get into the really important stuff. Each team will control a checkpoint or a series of checkpoints. These checkpoints must be defended at all costs. As soon as the game begins, each player must commit 3 units to the defense of their checkpoints. Once they arrive, they are free to disperse these units as they wish. However, be warned, additional commitments to the field will weaken your ability to defend your checkpoint in the long run. You must therefore choose your moment carefully when deciding to commit these reserves. If the enemy team manages to push you completely off of a checkpoint, that means no living or non-routing soldiers remaining in physical contact with the point, then a 2-minute timer will begin. Any of your soldiers pushing their way onto the checkpoint, like say the Blackwatch Legion or the Black Legion of Barad-dûr or even trolls or cavalry, will reset this timer to 0 immediately. If you cannot reclaim a lost checkpoint within the 2-minute timer, then your team loses that checkpoint. And depending on the gameplay, if you're playing with a single checkpoint game, then you will lose and your team must admit defeat immediately. If you are playing with a 2 checkpoint scenario, then if both checkpoints are taken from you, then your defending team will lose. And that's pretty well it. It's fairly simple. There's really just a few gameplay rules, and the rest is just composition rules. So hopefully that's simple enough that you can just pick it up and play it with friends, and eventually, once this mode becomes a little bit more well-known and people know how to play it, then you'll be able to play it with randoms from the lobby. But yeah, that's it for the rules. I want to say a little note here on Conquest mode. It is largely inspired by the Battle for Middle-earth series, of which I and many of the other developers and the players are a huge fan, and it is intended to give you guys an alternative to field battles, sieges, and the meta that we've designed for them. We do our best to design the kind of field battle meta and to make it as balanced as we possibly can, but not everybody really enjoys it. Well, no, I shouldn't say that they don't enjoy it. Some people don't like the balance for it. They think that, you know, elves should be more powerful and dwarves should be more powerful. And Conquest mode kind of brings the power of smaller units to the forefront. The elves are extremely good in Conquest mode just because of the general overall quality of the troops, for example, as are the dwarves, and men just kind of fall in the middle of the continuum as usual. And it's the orcish factions that kind of have to redesign the wheel a little bit. So your orcish factions will generally be a little bit more elite heavy because of their higher unit sizes. They're going to focus a little bit more on some of their smaller units. So you're going to see a lot of trolls, a lot of really strong elite units backed up with significantly less chaff units than you would normally expect to. So this is really more like a tabletop game, where you're putting your best troops into the fray instead of just trying to overwhelm your enemy with sheer numbers. So the tactics are going to be a little bit different. So with that being said, this new mode creates an entirely new meta for the mod that is separate from the field battle and siege meta. And since your tried and true comps in field battles and sieges, etc. will not be accessible in Conquest mode, primarily due to the army size cap, yeah, it changes the game quite a lot. Future Conquest maps will be supported in future patches and will receive their own section on the map selection screen so that you can easily access them. I'm really excited to see what you guys make of this new mod. We worked really hard on it, put a lot of thought into the rules, and honestly I can't wait to see and commentate some of the community Conquest mode replays, and I'm sure you guys are looking forward to it as well. So thank you so much for joining me, and good luck on the battlefield in the future. My name is Jordan, also known as JMonster, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care everybody. Bye-bye!